Hi, this is Kathy Goodwin, and today we're going to talk about a topic that you might not have given much thought to, with good reason: copywriting versus ghostwriting. And you may say, well, why should I care about this? Hang in there, and we're going to see. A while back, someone asked me, do you do ghostwriting? Because I have a project. And I had to stop and think, because it's something I really hadn't considered. But then I thought, the answer is a little more complicated than yes or no. But the short answer is, depending on the project, I probably could do ghostwriting. Ghostwriting means that somebody writes for you but uses your name. So, for example, a lot of celebrity biographies or autobiographies are really as told too, but they dictate to a ghostwriter who puts their name on it. So you might see by Mary Jones, but Mary Jones did not write that book. Someone else did, and we'll never know who. Because one of the reasons ghostwriters actually get paid quite a bit for writing books, especially memoirs of celebrities, is that they can't put them in their portfolio, because by definition they would not be ghostwriters anymore. They would be known. So a lot of times you have to pay a ghostwriter because they can't use your business to get more clients. Although the common way of compensating a ghostwriter for a published book is to split the advance and the royalties. So they do pretty well, especially at the upper end. But the real writer is anonymous. And that's why we kind of call it ghost, because there's somebody hiding behind that white sheet there. You don't see them. You just kind of get a sense that they're there. Now, copywriting is a whole different ballgame. The traditional definition means that you write to persuade. And if you look that up in any online dictionary, that's probably what you'll see. And it's still true today. Copywriting is about persuasion, and it's really part of marketing and advertising. However, today we're really broadening the role of marketing, and therefore we're broadening the definition of copywriting, because marketing today includes building relationships with clients and prospects. So a lot of things that are not specifically written or designated as sales material or marketing material, such as ebooks, will come within the scope of this definition, and what is written there will be considered a form of copywriting. Copywriting includes websites, social media, and blogs can be considered a form of social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and more. Ebooks and reports, especially giveaways, because if you ask me to help you write a report that you're going to use as a giveaway, that means people will sign up for it and hopefully get on your list and stay on your list, and they'll read the ebook and say, oh, I'd like to know this person better. So that is, in a sense, a form of a marketing material, and that is very much copywriting. Sales letters, of course, are the quintessential form of online marketing, and one of the most difficult, challenging ways you can write copy. Ghost projects include memoirs, speeches. It's very common for famous people, especially politicians, to hire speech writers. Almost every speech you hear given by a famous politician, even a candidate, rarely is written by that person. Almost always there was a speech writer who created that speech, and even those famous expressions. The famous George Bush expression, what it was, 1,000 points of light, was created by a speechwriter. Now, they're usually acknowledged. They're ghost writers, but usually today especially, we know who they are, and people find out who actually created a famous turn of phrase or expression. Letters. Corporate executives, especially top executives and presidents, often will hire people to work for them as letter writers. They're really more of a liaison between them and the public, because top executives rarely have time to sit down and answer every letter. Sometimes they'll insist on looking at certain letters themselves. Sometimes they go out, hey, just over the name of the executive, and he never heard about it, which makes things interesting if there's any kind of a legal action or a scandal. Legal briefs and opinions are a lot of times are ghostwritten. It's pretty much not a secret, because famous judges or even non-famous judges almost always have law clerks. They will write opinions for the judges, who will then deliver the opinions. Some judges give credit to their clerks, and a clerk is not what we think of as a clerk who files and types and whatever. A law clerk is a lawyer. It's actually a very prestigious job to be a judge's law clerk, especially at the higher level courts. But there, some judges will credit their clerks and the people who write them, and some won't. And lawyers and firms, especially big firms, will hire associates and junior lawyers to write and draft briefs or motions, and they will of course be presented by whoever is the senior lawyer actually dealing with the client. And again, the extent to which the junior person gets credit is a matter of discretion. Now, copywriting is ghostwriting, but it's something in addition. For example, if I write a sales letter for you, my name will not appear anywhere on that sales letter. It's going to be written as if you were writing that sales letter. And it's very safe to assume, when you look at top marketing experts on the internet, I hate to use the word guru, but that's what I'm talking about. People we know as the gurus. Very few of them write their own sales letters. They just do not have time, and they realize the value of investing in professional copywriting. But still, the letters are written as if they're going out from the marketer, from the person who's sponsoring the event. Your ebooks deliver marketing as well as information. So a lot of times a copywriter will help you write an ebook, even though it's presented as your ebook. Whether it's an ebook you sell or whether it's something you give away, that can be ghostwritten by a copywriter. And a copywriter, for example, if you have, let's say, a website, if I write your website for you, that's really presented as you giving out the information. So in a sense, that's also ghostwriting. The real question is, does your writer have to sound like you? Every time I talk to people, I get this question. Okay, I want you to write for me, but I don't want it to sound like you. I want it to sound like me. And there is many ways of answering that question, and it's not as straightforward as it might appear. First, your message will be more important than the exact style in conveying who you are and in conveying really what you want to get across. And the message can be worded a number of ways, and usually copywriters are especially skilled at framing the message so your prospects will not only hear it, but remember it and understand it. So one person I know has a message, and I have never seen her write it anywhere exactly like this, but the unwritten messages, anybody can do this. If I can, you can. In other words, I'm going to make this easy for you. This is not rocket science. And I don't know if I've ever remembered specific things that she's written, but I know I get this message, and it's very clear. It comes through in everything she says. And then another message from a lawyer who I actually wrote a website for is, I am passionate about helping my clients within the law. Again, that was something actually I think we did say in various ways on the website, but that was the message that he wanted to communicate. The exact words, did they have to be his words? No, they had to be words that communicated this message and got it across. Sometimes the way you state your message may not even be as convincing and really as passionate, as strong as the message a copywriter will create for you. Secondly, think of the emotional rather than the logical impact of what you promote. When someone reads a sales letter or goes to your website, yes, they will look at the content and they will get information, but overall, they're going to get a sense of who you are. They won't necessarily pick it up by the words, but by the tone, by the way you set up the site, the kinds of content that are on the site, the kind of information you provide. All that creates an emotional impact on the viewer. If you have a lot of material about your family and your kids, that's going to create one type of emotional impact. Whereas if you're strictly business and there's not a word about you as a person, a lot of times that's a totally valid and appropriate way to set up your website. That will create a different kind of emotional connection. Finally, focus on the position that you are presenting rather than personality. And let me explain that. When you write from a position. So you might be the authority figure. A lot of gurus do this, but a lot of professionals also take this approach. It's sort of like, I know more than you, and here is what I want you to do. A very strong position can be extremely effective for many audiences. Another approach is the buddy or girl next door, which is, hey girlfriend, what are you doing? Or, about you, and maybe telling some self-deprecating stories, talking about your personal life, talking about your kids, talking about how you made a mess of things, and maybe your about page has stories about the various mistakes you made, the kind of humorous things, personal anecdotes, and even when you talk about a specific product or program, a lot of times that's presented in terms of, I've been there. I'm just like you. I walked in your shoes. The celebrity is a little more out there. It's a little more like, I'm not even trying to connect with you. I'm just great and brilliant and just watch me. We don't see a lot of that, but we are starting to see that there are some internet personalities who present themselves that way. So this is really what's going to come across. And this is what people are going to remember. Not the specific words and phrases, but the position you take and the content, and the motion of your message and whatever it is you're writing. I have to tell you that one of the other considerations is that you may not know how you sound to other people. Because one time I was writing a sales letter for a client who was extremely knowledgeable, and she said, make sure to put in this particular paragraph. So I did. I put that paragraph in exactly where she said. When I gave it back to her, she said, I like everything about the sales letter except this paragraph. And you probably can guess what's coming. It was the one she had written herself and asked me to add in. That is not at all unusual. If you'd like to know more, or you'd like to have me help you with your own copywriting or ghostwriting, as the case may be, start with my website, kathygoodwinmarketing.com. And then what I recommend, if you have some copy that you're working on, you're trying to write a sales letter or a website and you'd like me to help you with it, but you still want to do it yourself, then this link here, budurl.com/copyfix, will take you to my consultation where we go over your copy and we make changes into it on the spot. A lot of times this will not only improve the copy and make it more compelling, make it easier to convert your prospects into clients or your prospects into customers, but it'll get done faster, because a lot of times when you're writing copy, I do it every day, so I'm used to it, but a lot of times people will spend a long time trying to get this particular part written, and when we work together, it gets done. And finally, the Jumpstart call is one where we really talk about your business and identify where you would like to go and what particular marketing tools and promotional tools you need to get to where you want to be. It's really the best way to start if you want me to write your copy or if you want me to get into a larger project with you. And it's also a lot of times all you need to get moving to really solve whatever challenge you're facing at the moment. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I look forward to meeting you on a future video or perhaps working with you one-on-one during a consultation. Thanks again. Have a great rest of the day.